Hello, everybody. Okay, let's talk about how to help you get out of a funk. Get out of that feeling of feeling uninspired, feeling like you're just repeating the same old motion every single day, and you feel like life is starting to get dull and starting to get not as interesting as it once was. Over the past almost 5 years of my business, I've worked with so many amazing, creative, highly ambitious, highly achieving entrepreneurial people who come to me feeling like they have fallen into a rut. They have feel like they've fallen into a funk and they don't really know how to get out of this place. Perhaps it's almost like you've been working so hard the past few years, and now you're at a certain level of success in your entrepreneurial journey, with your business, with your work, with your career, with where you're at right now. You're at a certain level of success, and which is so amazing, right? We don't want to disregard that. You've worked hard to get to where you are right now. And it's almost like now that you're here, like life is good. Like things are okay. It's not bad. It's not that you hate it, but it's just kind of mundane. And you're just kind of living life, feeling a little bit numb to everything. And almost like you forgot the reason why you started doing what you do in the first place. And so let's really talk about that because I think this is something that not a lot of people talk about. A lot of business coaches out there, they talk about how to start a business. They talk about how to get yourself out there to really, take that leap of faith to change your career entirely. But a lot of times it's in the plateau that you're here, you're like, oh my gosh, now what? And what's very interesting as well is when you're in the plateau, the motivation to get out of it is not as strong because, like, when you first started doing your thing, whether it's your business or your own personal brand or your own content creation journey, right? When you first started, perhaps it's like there was a place where you hated. Okay, maybe you hated your current 9 to 5 job or you hated where you were. And so you were trying to escape that. You were trying to get yourself out of that place. So you were trying to run away from this pain and trying to escape to really give yourself a much better life. And so the motivation to get out of what you don't want is so much, can often be like so much stronger. And so a lot of the times, this is what created the hustle. This is what made you work so hard to get to where you are right now. And now that you do have it, now that you're living in a life that's technically not bad, the motivation to get out of this place is actually not as big as before. And I think we don't talk about this plateau season as much, and not a lot of people discuss this. It's almost like the place where you're kind of starting to get into a rut. You feel like what you're doing every day is getting a little bit mundane. It's You're losing that inspiration and that spark a little bit and that excitement of why is it that you do what you do. And today I want to explore three common beliefs that people in this stage have that is making it harder for you to get out, right? That's making it harder for you to get out of this rut because there is definitely that next phase for you. Perhaps before it has always been about your work and it has been about hustling hard, being productive, working hard. And now, what I want to offer is that next phase, that next chapter of your life is going to involve something that's completely different. And it might look like really thinking about different ways to add in more fun, more excitement, more novelty, more things that make you come alive. This is what I love to talk about with entrepreneurs and artists and creators at this level, at this stage of where they are in their work and in their life is how do we make it fun for you again? How can we help you to fall back in love with your life again and to come alive? Okay. The first common belief that a lot of people have right now at this level, right, is when they feel like, okay, things are great, but they're starting to feel like they're in a rut and they find themselves not being as productive as before, not being able to create and be a lot more creative and just doing more work than before. But then it makes so much sense, right? Like if you're in a rut, if you feel uninspired and unexcited about your life, of course you wouldn't want to do it. But the first common myth that comes up for a lot of people is they tell themselves, I need to push myself to work even harder, and I need to push myself to be even more productive right now because they're like you're judging yourself that you're not being productive, you're not being as productive. And so therefore you need to push yourself to work even harder. And my friend, like this is no longer the way that's going to work for you moving forward anymore. Okay, the old strategy of how you've approached your work is hustle, it's pushing yourself to work harder, it's forcing yourself out of pure willpower, and that's no longer going to be the case anymore. Because the more that you continue to tell yourself, I just need to push myself to work harder, I just need to force myself to become more productive, what ends up happening is this cycle never ends. You will continue to procrastinate. You will continue to not feel like doing it. And then you do all the things last minute, trying to catch up to all the deadlines. You push yourself to finally do it, and then you crash and burn afterwards, right? And then maybe like right afterwards, you crash and burn, and then you engage in a series of like binging activities to buffer out how you actually feel, right? Maybe you like binge eat or you binge scroll on social media. You go into like a doom scrolling on social media, not knowing how to get out of here because it's just so stressful. You're forcing yourself to do something that you don't want to do. You're pushing yourself to do it. And then this creates a cycle that never ends where you are emotionally and spiritually burned out afterwards. And then it takes you a while to come back and you procrastinate and then you judge yourself and you feel guilty about it. And then so you push yourself to work even harder, right? That's no longer the vibe anymore. And especially when you're at a good place at your life right now, like life is good. Why would you want to push yourself harder? And I want to offer at this place where you are, a lot of you have PTSD experiences with hustle. Like a lot of you are going to feel cringe. It's going to make you feel so cringe and it's going to make you feel such a dread to go back to that place where you have to constantly to push yourself to do more work. And instead, let's switch up the paradigm. This is a whole new vibe now, okay? This is a new chapter of what I want to invite you to step into is really ask yourself that question. How can I make my work feel more fun again? How can I bring back more excitement and more fun into my everyday routines? What would be more fun? What would help me feel like life is so much more interesting? Okay, time to switch up your routines, time to add in something new, some novelty, some excitement into your life. And what does that look like for you? Perhaps it is really thinking about making that pivot in your business. Perhaps you no longer want to offer a specific service and you want to change to selling groups instead. Perhaps you want to go from one-on-one to groups. Perhaps you want to pivot from consultant and coaching to selling a product. Perhaps you want to add in a new income stream into your business. Perhaps you want to finally start selling that digital, that physical product that you've been thinking about doing for so long. Perhaps you want to become a content creator and start to publish YouTube videos. What is it that will make your business fun again? that's what you want to start thinking about. How can I bring back that spark that I once had, right? Now that I'm making money, now that I don't have to hustle, hustle, hustle for the money, what feels fun and exciting for me to do now? What is this next pivot of evolution? What does that look like for me? And when I ask you this question, what's that intuitive answer that you know that comes up, that first initial answer? That's probably the right answer, right? And your work is like you want to really think about how you can really make that happen in your life. Perhaps outside of your business, it's time to start thinking about having more hobbies outside of your work. Perhaps it's starting to think about how can I gain fun? How can I like adding more fun and excitement and novelty into my relationships? Perhaps it is time for me to start dating again. Perhaps it is time for me to adding more spark with my partner, right? Perhaps it is time for me to go travel. Maybe I should change up my work environment to start working from coffee shops instead of always being stuck in front of my computer in my office. I really think about how you can add in more excitement and more things into your life to make it more fun instead of telling yourself that I need to work harder and I need to push myself to be more productive because that's no longer the vibe. Okay. And that's just going to make you feel stuck continuing running in this life and with this lifestyle that doesn't feel exciting for you. Okay. The next belief that I want to address that's kind of holding you back, that's making you stuck in this rut, is this idea that okay, so I need to do something different in my life. I need to change up my life right now. But I have so many things going on. I'm already doing so much and I need to manage my time better. If only I can just manage my time better, then I will be able to have space to finally go to my yoga class. Then I'll finally have space to hang out with my friends on Friday nights. I will finally have time for my family. Finally be able to take on that new hobby. Finally, I have space in my business to add in a new income stream. Okay. It might feel like you need to manage your time better, and we all have the same amount of time. Okay. Instead of trying to find new productivity hacks or new productivity tools to help you manage your time better, what I want to offer is that if it truly is important enough for you, if you truly see the importance of doing of a specific change that you want to add into your schedule, that you want to add into your life, then you will do it. Right? It's like if you have a child and your child is sick, you will drop everything and take the child to see the doctor. Right? If you have something that you really care about, you will drop everything to make time and create space for that. And so instead of trying to manage your time better, what you need to do actually is to actually understand the importance of how it will actually change for you to create more space for yourself to think and to be at a more abundant level. Okay, let me repeat that again. You need to understand the importance and how important it is for you to have space for yourself to think and be at a more abundant level. Because what you're doing right now is you are short-term focused on the everyday tasks. You're playing catch up every single day, trying to check off everything that's on your to-do list. And you're like reacting to your day. You're reacting to the daily things. You're in your business instead of being able to have space and have time to think about the bigger picture, the bigger vision of your business, to think about your life as a whole and what direction And what does that look like for you? And what kind of life do you actually want to create for yourself? Right now, you don't have time for that. Every day, you're putting out the fire. Every day, you are reacting to messages and emails. Instead, what we need to help you do is you have to really see how important it is to create space for you to be with your own thoughts, to create space for you to be able to think at a more abundant level, at a more higher level, for you to be at a higher level, right? So if you think about the version of myself, this next version of myself that I'm stepping into, the kind of life that I want to have, maybe this person is at a more abundant level, whatever that looks like for you, right? Abundance doesn't have to only mean in terms of like monetary values, but it can be a more abundant, a rich relationship, having a rich life filled with you're doing like hobbies that you enjoy, where you're thriving, you are solving the right problems that you want to be solving for, you are having fun, you have a social life, you are traveling, you have space for yourself, you're taking care of your health. That kind of life is rich, it is abundant. And what would that person be thinking about? And how will that person be in their day-to-day life? Right? What is that one thing that you know if you just change in your life right now, it would drastically transform your everyday life and work routine? What is that one thing that you know if you just make a change to it? Perhaps it is going back to weekly Pilates classes. Perhaps it is going on regular walks after your meal. Perhaps it is giving your time, like taking the whole Friday off to just, instead of be in your business, to be on your business and to think about your business, about your mission as a whole. Perhaps it's really giving yourself those CEO days. Perhaps it is really taking that massage that you've been telling yourself you've been wanting to get for a long time, right? Maybe it's taking 1 week off to go traveling, to take a business vacation, to take a vacation away from your business. What it is that you know if you just do right now, like that's something that a more abundant level, a more abundant version of you would think and would do, right? Maybe it is finally hiring a coach and working with a coach to talk about these long-term problems. Maybe it is to take time off every morning before you start your work to do journal and to just think for yourself and just like be with your own brain. What is that thing that you know for you that you need to do to create capacity for you to create space for you to be with yourself to think and be at a more abundant level, right? And what does that look like for you? So again, you don't need to manage your time better. We're all busy people. We all have things going on, right? It's more about deciding and really see what is actually important to you and create the space in your schedule, like actually truly block it out to make that happen, for you to actually sit with yourself, for you to do the right activity, to do the thing so that you can actually be and think at an abundant level. Okay. The third belief that's holding a lot of people back and that's keeping a lot of people stuck in this uninspired rut is this idea that I need to prove myself first, then I can finally have what I want. And oh my gosh, like this sentence is hitting so hard for me as well. It's like this idea of like, I can't have that lifestyle yet. I can't make that pivot in my business yet. I have to do XYZ first. Then I can have that, right? I need to hit a certain milestone in my business first. Then I can finally go travel. I need to make a specific amount of money first. Then I can become a digital nomad. I need to do XYZ first. Then I can finally hang out with my friends more. Then I can finally get my nails done. Then I can finally get that massage. And like I totally understand this. I totally understand what it feels like to be here, of like this feeling that you need to prove to yourself. And like this is what I want to offer for you. It's like, my friend, there's nothing for you to prove. There is nothing for you to prove. Like, let that be the mantra for you, right? There is nothing for you to prove. You don't need to prove yourself to yourself. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone. It doesn't have to be that hard, because the idea of like proving yourself is this idea that you have to work so hard. You have to get yourself over this hard struggle, over something that's so hard first. Then you can feel finally be worthy of the thing that you truly want for yourself. It's like you have to prove that you are worthy of something. And that's such a struggle, because honestly, if this is how you feel, it will never feel enough. You will always feel like you need to work harder. You will always feel like there's that next milestone for you to reach. And it will always feel like you can never quite get there, right? Because you're always in this proving energy, trying to prove yourself to the world and trying to prove yourself that you are good enough and that you are worthy of all the things that you really desire. And there's nothing for you to prove. It doesn't have to be that hard. You don't have to let it be hard. You can just decide that you want it and you can just have it. You don't need a reason to show and to prove why you can have something. You can just decide that you want it and it can come to you easily and effortlessly. Okay, let me repeat that again. You can decide that you want something and it can come to you easily and effortlessly. You can just have it because you want to, because you can, because you are totally deserving of it without you need to prove yourself to anyone. Okay, my love? Like, I really want this to sink in for you, to really remind yourself that there is nothing for you to prove. You are already worthy. You are already amazing. You are already enough and so much more than enough. You can have anything that you want. You don't have to make it hard for yourself as a way for you to prove yourself so that you can have it, right? And so if you want to make that pivot in your business, if you want to make that change in your career, you get to do that right now. Why? Because you can and because you want to and because you totally deserve to, and it can be easy and it can be effortless and it can come to you effortlessly. You can go travel right now. You can let life feel fun right now. You can take that break right now. You can join that class right now. Okay? Really let that sink in. And actually, this is the faster way to creating that milestone, whatever it is that you think you need to have first. Let your energy and let your vibration, like get yourself into this energy of you already have it first, right? Like you already believe that you are that person, you already have what you want. You're already feeling alive, you're already feeling joyful, you are having fun in your life. You are coming alive, you are falling in love with your life. You love your relationships. And then from this energy, from this vibration, like let this attract what it is that you want to call in. This is literally the fastest way for you to get what you want, for you to create external success for yourself is to decide that you can have it right now, to feel into it, to know that you don't need to prove yourself to anyone. You can have it right now. Let yourself have it, right? And that this elevate your energy, that this elevate what you do. And then when your energy, when your action changes and vibrate at the frequency of what you're calling in, like the external successes that come to you so much more easily and in such a flow, right? The money comes, the opportunities come, the external success that you want, they come to you when you decide that you are worthy of it now. When you decide that you can have it now and it doesn't have to be that hard. You didn't expect this is what you will receive when you tap into this episode, right? Right? Do you see? Like there's so much more to just letting yourself get out of this rut. Like there are a lot of beliefs that's here in place that's keeping you from being in this rut. And these are some of the very common ones that it's kind of like creating this pattern for you to continue to be here instead of thinking about how you can change things up. And instead of bringing in more fun, more excitement, more joy into your life. Okay, so I hope this has been helpful for you. If you're looking for someone to really help support you through this journey so you can get out of this uninspired funk, so that you can truly come alive in your life and step into that next chapter, that next evolution of how you want your life and your work to look like, and really put yourself out there and to create next level success and next level abundance into your life and your relationships right now, then I would highly recommend you to booking that free reignite your life consultation session with me. And this is a session where within 60 minutes, I'll help you overcome and release one of your biggest mental and emotional resistance right now in your life. So it could be maybe that resistance is not having enough time. Maybe the resistance is you can't seem to feel motivated. And so we'll tackle that one big resistance right now in your life so that you can help tap back into that zone of like focused, deep flow work, be able to fall back in love with your life and with your relationships, and to help you to bring back so much more energy and so much more aliveness into your everyday life. So at the time when this podcast is uploaded, I'm taking 2 new clients for the month of July, and Reignite Your Life consultation session will be available for the next 2 weeks at the time that this episode is out. So the link is in the caption below. Definitely book in that session if you can really relate to what I'm sharing with you today. And I would love to be your coach to help support you through this journey, to help you truly come alive and step into that next level of success and abundance in your life. All right, have an amazing day, and I will talk to you next week. Bye.